All right. Hey, people, how you doing? It's your man, Tim Black. Welcome to No Sellouts once again. And I have my friend, the undeniable, undisputed king of authorship columnist, my man, H.A. Goodman in the house. What's up, H.A.?
Tim Black, how are you? How are you today?
I'm good, man. How are you, brother?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. You know what I'm really happy about, Tim?
What's up, man?
You want to know what I'm really happy? You want to know what I'm really happy about?
What's up, man? What's up?
I am just so happy that mainstream media is covering WikiLeaks. I am so effing happy. You have no idea how happy I am.
They had no choice. You forced them to cover it, H.A. You know what I'm saying? You kept ramming it down their throat. They had to cover it.
We both did. We both did. But it's, you know what? I wish that it's interesting because the New York Times, first of all, it's kind of like a corrupt police department, its own police. It's not really going to happen. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so the New York Times, instead of talking about the journalists that work for them who gave articles to the Clinton campaign to edit, right?
Right.
They come out with this amazing, provocative piece on the 281 times on Twitter that Donald Trump insulted people. And I'm thinking to myself, man, WikiLeaks has enough information to sink any campaign. And they're talking about,
it's just like them, man, to be focused on the most mundane issues, non-issue that people don't care about, didn't have anything to do with, what's going on right now in this world. And they're talking about Trump said mean things. He said mean things, H.A. So therefore, Hillary killing people and taking money and taking bribes, basically, providing excess for money, pay for play. That's nothing. That's not important. That's nothing. That's just, But Trump said something about somebody one time or whatever, 200 times. These different people. So therefore, what? What, H.A.?
Well, Tim, you had a very, very powerful. All your segments are powerful, but you had one segment about the killing of the unarmed black man that they used for their own purposes. Yeah. Why don't you tell everybody about that segment?
Hey, man, I appreciate it, brother. That was Jordan Davis, 17-year-old young man who was gunned down. And look, the thing about it was, you may have heard the story. It was the shooter was Michael Nunn, right? And this was it was called the Loud Music Killer. So he shoots into this car like 4 teenagers who were at a gas station, like a quick stop gas station, whatever. And he ends up killing one of the young men, and it was a horrific thing. I mean, it sent ripples all across, not just the black community, but in large, because it was such a senseless shooting. Like these teenagers hanging out, they're not committing a crime, they're not doing anything, they're not, they didn't get out the car, nothing. He shoots from inside his car as they drove away. It was like horrific, and once again, like this was just a huge story. Well, in one of the WikiLeaks documents, I was reading how they knew about the Clinton campaign planned to use this information. They said Hillary's working on an article, H.A., and the idea was, well, we need to bolster our argument within this article about guns. So let's talk about this Jordan Davis, and one of the advisors like, let's talk about Jordan Davis. I got a great story. This is great. We got a shooting of this unarmed 17-year-old kid. We can use this. This is great. And it was like, H.A., no empathy, no. I mean, you and I have conversations about things. We don't get giddy about death.
Yeah.
Like it's like, man, I can't believe this crap, man. God, sometimes I lose sleep, brother, talking about these stories, but not these people. Not the Clinton campaign advisors. They're like, this is great. And that's exactly what they say. This is fantastic. I got just a great thing you could mention in the article. And the only reason why they didn't run with it is because they wanted to, instead of they didn't want race to come into it. They wanted to focus on the issue of guns. So instead of, echoing or raising Jordan Davis' name up and letting more people know about it, they chose not to do it because it didn't quite fit their agenda. And the worst part about it, H.A., at the end was, well, you know what? Let's just wait and use a murder in Chicago. We'll just use a Chicago murder. We'll be fine. We don't have to deal with this. And I just wonder, H.A., how many people know about how dirty this campaign is, and this is just business as usual. This wasn't anything special.
Yeah.
And the women that went on the campaign trail with Hillary Clinton, HA, you know, the mothers of Trayvon Martin, the mothers of Michael Brown, the wife of Eric Garner, you know, Miss McBath, which is the mother of Jordan Davis. She campaigned with Hillary. She's one of those women in the movement or mothers of the movement or whatever. And these women were used like screwdrivers, you know, to turn boats. They were used like a hammer and a nail, you know, by the Clinton campaign. And it's just terrific what goes on. And I think that is like probably the most disgusting things I've seen in a while, brother. Really.
It's unbelievable. I mean, you really broke it down so well, and you said it exactly the way it is. They use tragedy for votes, and their thing is they're not trying to fix anything. In fact, if they can promote it as being, hey, this is horrible, and this is what's so sad and so dangerous and so really evil. Their vantage point is, you must go with us because the Republicans are worse. So you must go. You have no choice. And I just see what they've done the past month. They realize that they're not going to get high voter turnout from Black voters and Latino voters and millennials. They know that they're not going to get super high voter turnout like Obama levels. So what they've done is, Trump is an ogre. 2005 audio, you know, he touched 1 million people, and he's a mean person. Meanwhile, like, Hillary is not the nicest person on the planet, but they have made it to where if they can boost the numbers among women in general, because they know other demographics are not really going to, you know, go out in large numbers.
Right. They know that.
They have done everything possible to say, okay, Trump is basically like Bill Clinton, which is what basically they're saying that Trump is accused of being the way Bill Clinton actually was. And it's so horrendous, because how often in WikiLeaks have we read of the Clinton campaign actually addressing issues important to Black voters, issues important to Latino voters? Hardly ever.
And when they do, in my opinion, HA, all they're doing is going for the vote, man. It's all a smoke signal, a smoke screen, I should say, for their actual agenda, which is, let's just appear to care, you know, but let's not, once again, like you say in Black Lives Matter, let's not provide them any substantive policy solutions. Let's just listen to them and, you know, say we listened, and okay, we're really, really sorry about you guys having problems, but we're not the people to fix it. And exactly. I think that's just, people need to wake up and realize that's what the game is.
That's exactly what the game is. And also it's so crazy, because we just found out, there's a Wall Street Journal article, New York Post article. One of the top FBI agents working on the case, his wife was running for office. And Terry McAuliffe, Virginia governor, gave her, through his super PAC, $500,000. This guy's wife eventually got the money, and he was part of the FBI investigation. He was an FBI agent, high-ranking FBI agent, who eventually investigated Hillary Clinton. And it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable how people, they're like, well, you know, it wasn't to him. It was through a super PAC, and his wife was running for office. And I'm thinking to myself, how gullible do people have to be to where, and they're like, well, it was before the investigation, but we know through WikiLeaks that they already feared a backlash from the email server. So they knew pretty much the FBI or somebody was going to get involved, because actually there was an actual WikiLeaks memo from a strategist breaking down, here's the problem. It could have been hacked. We don't know who hacked it. And interestingly enough, no talk about Russia. They actually put China. They say China could have hacked it. And it's like they knew everything. Terry McAuliffe is being investigated right now by the FBI.
Right.
So Virginia governor, and it's unbelievable. And this is not national news. Meanwhile, the New York Times is how many times did Trump insult people? And we got FBI agents who essentially legally bribed. So if people they say, well, we don't know if that influenced the decision. $500,000 to your wife's political campaign? Yeah, that influences a decision.
What world are people living in where money doesn't have any bearing on anything? I mean, last time I checked, you would think normal, regular people working people would understand the gravity of the power of $500,000. Do you know how much money average, like a small town, I don't know, person running for office raises? Nowhere near that much. Maybe if they're lucky, $50,000. $500,000 is a lot of money, for a campaign to get from one particular source.
Yeah, it's unbelievable because the thing is, like, here we have that. And then I came out with an article in the Huffington Post, and it basically was published today. And it talks about John Podesta's ties to the biggest Russian bank, one of the biggest Russian banks, and to Uranium One, the Podesta Group. This is a group that he and his brother started, lobbied for Uranium One twice after it was already controlled over 50% by the Russian government. So their whole thing is, well, we didn't know Russia was going to sell 20% of U.S. uranium. It was already half owned when the Podesta Group worked for them. And then they worked for the largest Russian bank. And then one interesting thing, Bill Clinton got $500,000, $500,000. It's always $500,000, Tim.
Right. It's a nice round, big, fat, juicy number, isn't it?
It was always $500,000. They don't do anything unless it's $500,000. $500,000 to speak to a Russian investment bank. And Wikileaks is doing the job. Wikileaks is doing the job that the Washington Post, New York Times will not do. And it's like, look over there, the Russians. Meanwhile, how many times do you ever hear in the WikiLeaks emails, hey, let's worry about Putin. Let's worry about the Russians. Never. They don't care at all.
Right.
But now it's convenient. And it's like you said, it's unfortunate because when you type in Hillary Clinton in Google, it's always like the media beholden to her, they're circling the wagons.
Right.
He's saying, you know what? We got to circle the wagons because their thing is they're complicit. They're complicit.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, they're a team, H.A. They're in it to win it. They're all in it together. And if she goes down, well, hell, man, what was selling my soul for? I had a great look. By the way, when I go places, man, people always ask, where's H.A.? Like, is H.A. here with you, man? Like, where is H.A.? I'm like, H.A. is in Cali, man. He lives across the country. But they just assume, I was like, I will see him on Monday virtually, So like at this march in D.C.
Hey, you got to tell them we're roommates.
You know what? They go for that.
You got to tell them we're roommates.
they would believe it too. Yeah, that's my brother, man. He's adopted. My mom adopted. But dude, at the Unity March here in DC, man, it was phenomenal. And it just, and I'm trying to tell people we need to get past the divisions. We need to stop looking at labels. We need to look at people as people. Get off the progressive kick. Get off the the Democrat kick, the Republican kick, the Libertarian kick. These are people, and right now we got a prime opportunity for all people because people are waking up all over the country, and they're saying, you know what, this is corrupt.
Yeah,
I don't like what's going on, and this stinks. And I think we can start having those conversations, H.A., where we can start broadening. We can be a bigger force than we are, brother, if we stop thinking small and stop thinking like I can only talk to Democrats or I can only talk to progressives or whatever. Yeah. Talk to everybody. You feel me?
Talk to everybody. You know what? You said something that actually really freed me, gave me a lot of freedom. You said, you know what? Because I was already coming to that conclusion myself as well, but to hear it from you, you said, yeah, somebody deplorable on Twitter says deplorable something. And at first I was like, if I retweet this, then I'm going to get heat from the progressive. Yeah, you retweet it. Now I'm retweeting Fox. I don't care. I'm retweeting everybody deplorable this, whatever. Hey, whatever. And the thing is, it's like anybody that says anything, the neoconservatives who advised Bush and Cheney are now voting and fundraising for Hillary Clinton. So it's unbelievable too. Like when you see like Bill Maher or John Oliver, all these people, it's like they don't care about foreign policy at all. Their thing is, well, Trump is just, he's an ogre. Yeah, but Hillary Clinton called black youth super predators. Hillary Clinton, when Barack Obama was running, said, yeah, Bobby Kennedy was killed.
Right.
So it's like the things that she says, the things that she's done, that's old news. Now we got to focus on what's recent news, the FBI criminal investigation. We got WikiLeaks now. It's really unbelievable how people have such blinders on. They actually need a written note saying, I, Hillary Clinton, took money and only took money to give unethical favors. Signed, Hillary Clinton. And that's the thing. I mean, and there's no, because with Trump, it's like he didn't give his tax returns. So we know from that, we know that he now owes money to a Russian bank, and he'll be nice to Putin. It's like, whoa, wait a second. There's no evidence there.
A lot of leaps.
Yeah, a lot of leaps. A lot of leaps of logic. And with Hillary Clinton, it's like, well, we don't know if the FBI agent with that $500,000 given to his wife's campaign, we just don't know.
It's like the Clinton Foundation took money from these people, and then all of a sudden those people had access to Hillary. And you go, well, maybe she's going to meet with him anyway. Like, how is that connected? Well, you just said Trump, didn't pay taxes, didn't disclose his taxes. Therefore, obviously, he's getting money from Russia.
Yep.
What's this? That's not the same thing. No, it's exactly the same thing. It's about the person you like. That's the only difference is you like Hillary. I don't like Trump or Hillary. I just like truth. And the truth is, she's taking money to pay for play. That's what she was doing.
It's totally
if they owned it, if they owned it and just said, you know what, I know, I don't care. It burns me up, brother, that they deny truth. You know what I mean? Just own it and say, yeah, she's scum. But I want her anyway,
Yeah, and that's the thing. Essentially, that's what they're saying without saying it. That's exactly what they're saying without saying it. And it's like, we already know that the country of Morocco, and this is like nothing compared to all the other countries that have, Saudi Arabia. But they had an event. It was like 12 million. And Uma Abedin in the email says, you created this mess. She created this mess. Hillary created this mess.
Wow.
Yeah, in the email, and basically saying it was a definite quid pro quo thing, a definite,
I gotta read that, man. I've been busy, man. I gotta read that. It was that simple and plain, H.
It was that. It was straight, plain. I mean, there's so many. The thing with these emails is that you gotta, once you read them and you see the overall picture, you bring in information that you already know. In one email, this was Doug Band, one of the top Clinton Foundation officials. He was upset. He was pissed off. He had to sign a conflict of interest form.
Okay.
And he's like, well, how come I have to sign this? There's 500 different conflicts of interest with Bill Clinton. And then, because he's like,
I did see that.
Yeah. And then he's like, oh yeah, and then like, totally ratting him out on the email. Doesn't know WikiLeaks is gonna totally expose them. He's like, yeah. And another thing. And then he gets paid by 3 Clinton Global Initiative sponsors, and he gets expensive gifts, and it's 500. Why do I have to do this? And I'm thinking to myself, if this was, they have to actually speculate and imagine things for Trump. This is actually like in the email, and they don't say anything. And it's like, oh, you know about this, right? The whole, you know about this one, Tim, the dinner party. You know about the dinner parties, right?
The Clinton dinner parties.
Yeah, the Podesta, he invited 65 journalists.
No, I don't know about this. No.
Oh, man. John Podesta invited 65 different journalists around something like a crazy number like that, from ABC News, from CNN, from the New York Times, from the Washington Post. It was insane. And they, you know about this one, right? This is the worst of all. That's actually pretty bad, but this is the worst. Chuck Todd of NBC had a dinner party for John Podesta.
We're just friends.
Yeah.
We're just friends. That's what I was saying. We're just kicking it. This is my homie.
Yeah, it's my homie. And Meet the Press only, it's like NBC. And this is the thing. They're shaping the news. And, Tim, I liken it to this. This is like high school. This is like one big high school thing. You got the quote-unquote, they're not the cool kids, but they think they're cool. You got the quote-unquote cool kids. They think they can get away with anything. And the whole class is looking at them saying, what a bunch of losers. Like, everybody knows what they're doing, but it's like they think that power will insulate them. Like, if they win, everybody will just forget about all the corruption. But we won't.
Right.
We're never forgetting. And it's not, we're pissed off, and it's only going to get worse. And I'm telling you something right now. I can't wait. I'm rooting for every Republican, like that guy, Jason Chaffetz, every scandal that she has. I am just going to munch on popcorn and be like, I'm waiting. It's going to be like, my favorite football team, like 3rd and goal on the 1. And I'm just going to be like, let's go, punch it in, baby, punch it in. And I'm just, because the thing is, she already screwed over progressives.
Yeah.
She screwed over independents. The extreme to the right hate her already. I mean, they've always done. So she has a middle centrist, and these folks are, the centrists are the biggest backstabbers.
Yeah.
They're going to turn on her. If she's no longer utility for them, like if she's no longer good for them to further their own agenda, the media will turn on her as fast as they propped her up.
I've been wondering, H.A., the reason why Republicans like Hillary more than they like Trump, and I mean by and large, I mean like the establishment Republicans, and I'm thinking it's because it's business as usual with Hillary, and with Trump they don't know what they're going to get, and they're afraid of that change. They're afraid of what could happen with a Trump presidency. And I'm not saying other people shouldn't be concerned about it, but wouldn't that like lead people to understand how dangerous electing Clinton really is if you're like a liberal or a Democrat? Like you got this person that these Republican warmongering, war hawk type people, these people who normally would never vote Democrat.
Yeah.
Why are they willing to do it now? And don't tell me it's just because it's Trump. But I'd like to know your opinion on that. What's the deal?
I have several theories. Number one, when George W. Bush, the neoconservatives, like the people like Robert Kagan and Paul Wolfowitz, the neoconservatives who pushed for Iraq and Afghanistan took over the center of the Republican Party. And when they did that, they became the establishment. Establishment was, let's regime change, let's send troops. We have problems in the Middle East, Islamic terrorism. So, and each time we send military, we engage in military action, it makes things worse. So it's self-perpetuating. So like, you see, it's worse now. We got to send more Americans. We got to send more Americans. That became the establishment. Once we realized that that's absolutely horrible, Barack Obama came in and he beat Hillary in large part because he actually called the Iraq war stupid. And he said, hey, this is a dumb war. And now he sent Americans back to Iraq. So everything he said prior was like, okay.
Right.
But the thing is, another issue is Republicans are very interesting. They actually kind of adhere to their principles more than Democrats. Democrats with progressives are like, we'll pick social stuff, but foreign policy, other issues, especially issues that will definitely ensure that there's no unarmed black citizens getting killed. All those things where you have to have structural change, like massive structural change in criminal justice, everything, they don't really address. So in terms of the progressive base, Democrats kind of shun them. Like we saw with Bernie Sanders. No way, you're cheating. Even if you're close to winning, F you, you're not going to win. With the Republicans, it's very interesting. They also didn't like the Tea Party, the extreme right, which was their value system. They kind of didn't like them, but they tried to lure them to voting, okay?
Right.
What happened, though, the Tea Party actually was like, you know what? We're going to vote for Trump. And everybody who was really, really conservative, and even the ones who were just tired, who were establishment, just tired of like the Rubios and the Ted Cruzes, they vote for Trump. Trump wins. Now they're screwed because they're like, oh, man, we didn't want Trump. We wanted Jeb Bush. But at least they didn't cheat Trump. At least they didn't cheat. It was fair and square. The guy, Trump beat like 5, 6, 10 people, over 10 people.
Right.
Then they're stuck. They're stuck with Trump. And the thing is, what have we learned? The centrist Democrats are really moderate Republicans / somewhat conservative Republicans on a lot of things.
That's how I look at them, and that's why I say forget labels, because they don't apply anymore. You know what I'm saying? Now, what's the polling data looking like, brother? I saw one poll that said 5% Hillary nationally. Like, where is it standing? At least what, based on their, I don't know if you can trust them, but what are they saying about the polls?
Well, there's a real clear politics. Basically, it's very interesting. So before it was up to like 7.2, 6.8. Now today it's 5.5. And my thing is, wait a second, going down is not good for Hillary. But then what you hear is, it's unbelievable. It's like they all get the memo. So it actually went down to 5.5. And there was one where he's up by 2, the International Business Times poll, Trump. so my thing is, they're like, oh, this is fantastic. It's 5.5. And I'm thinking, wait, it's 6.8 like a couple of days ago. And then you have 05 audio.
Spinning.
Like, this is, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
The ball on their nose, guys.
The
Curly O'Neal, Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, Trump could win if he wins Florida and Ohio. So he's up in Ohio. With Florida, he's down like 4. What happened, the interesting thing is, the Washington Post, when the book is written in this election, I firmly believe the Washington Post was working even more so than New York Times or anyone else in Vox for the Clinton campaign. The day WikiLeaks 1 came out, they came up with the Trump audio from 05. That day, Tim, Florida, Trump was up by 2. From that day till now, Trump's down by 4.
Wow.
Now, if he won Florida and Ohio, you're looking at a Trump victory, because all he had to do was win North Carolina, Nevada, Iowa. So he's already up in Iowa. He's already up in Ohio. If he had won Florida, so he can still actually technically win. Trump could technically win. You can technically, if there's like, for example, some crazy thing, I don't know, like she says something insane, okay, that on a tape or some kind of October surprise for her.
Right.
If the flip in Florida, if he gets up in Florida, he wins Florida, Ohio, that whole electoral map is like changed now. He can actually win. But see, that's the thing. It's like North Carolina, that's a southern state, so they usually vote. They say like, oh, she's up so big in North Carolina. I'm like, well, she's not big. It's a southern state, and I don't see how. I just don't trust the polls. I don't see how.
That's my thing. Yeah, that's my thing. I just don't. Well, first of all, we know from my primary races they don't poll everyone. Are they polling the independents at all? Like, is that a part of it? And are they getting all demographics, even if they are polling independents? Because I noticed it's like in the middle, like 25 to like 35, no questions, like no polling for those people. I'm like, they vote, right? Like, but they won't give us the answers we want, so we're not even going to ask them, because then you might have a clear view. But another thing I was thinking, I think it's psychological warfare where they say she's up. So it's to dishearten Trump supporters so they don't come out and vote. But maybe it'll have the reverse effect, where people think, well, Hillary's up. I guess I ain't got to vote, man. We good here.
That's an enormous, amazing point. And I'm telling you something. I always say, don't count your chickens before they're hatched. And you know what? It's like they can lose this. And if they lose this, it would be like unbelievable, because they had all the advantages. But the thing with Trump voters, and it's not just the alt-right, it's not just people who, will always vote Republican, the way extreme right, okay? There are a lot of good people, very good people, who are just conservative, who are, I'm voting for Trump. I can't stand Hillary, and I usually vote Republican, and I can't stand Rubio, Cruz, or, the establishment. I'm voting for Trump. They're not racist people. They just want to vote. They just want a change.
Right.
Okay? There's a lot of people like that, and a lot of independents like that. And
I wonder why people can't get that logic. Like, there are just people who just don't, who distrust politicians in general, and they're just tired of it. And they just want something different. Like, I'm so look, I push back all the time, man, on people who just want to say, "Boy, Trump's got a bunch of skinheads following." I'm like, dude. First of all, that would be an awful lot of skinheads. I would hate to say this guy set records, right? Like, people are really downplaying the power of his candidacy, man. This guy set records on turnout this primary season. Hillary, she set no records.
She set no records. She set no records. And also, very interesting, if you go to Real Clear Politics, I was looking at this a couple of weeks back. If you go to Real Clear Politics, you find out the turnout, how many people voted in the Democratic primary. So she got, when it was a two-person race, it was her and Bernie. She got something like 1,500,000 voters in Florida for the Democratic primary who voted, okay? In the Republican primary, check this out. It was a four-man race between Trump, Cruz, Rubio, Kasich, I believe. And Trump got 1.3 million. Just yeah. And he got in a four-man race. And his voters in every poll, there's like definitely voting for him. He has the higher definitely voting than or passionate voting than she does.
Excellent.
So
excellent point.
Yeah. So,
before I forget this, man, I think people need to. At this point right here, HA, I want to get your take on it. You know how they say that that black folks are taken advantage of by the Democratic Party, that they just vote blue anyway. It's like, oh, scary people over there, we're going to go vote for these people. They don't do, not much gets accomplished for us by these guys, but hey, they're better than these people over here because they're going to bring back slavery or whatever, some form of scary thing that people say these people are about or whatever. Okay. Here's my new theory on that, HA. I think Hillary feels that way about not just black folks, anyone liberal or progressive.
Yeah.
Same deal. She's like, hey, you got nowhere to go, so I'm going to go ahead and talk to these Republicans and try to siphon votes this way. Because as mad as you are, you're going to vote for me anyway.
Yep.
You feel what I'm saying? They're
Absolutely.
doing the same game plan. That's why ever since Bernie dropped out and endorsed her, she said, well, hey, we get what we can get. I'm going to throw you this fake sacrificial lamb. Yeah. Here go a little bit of pork chop for you. Hope that you like that. And if that's good, I hope that's good enough for you because that's all you get. That's in the WikiLeaks. Like, hey, I'm not going to go out my way. That's enough. Do give them some hollow concessions in this little Democratic playbook or whatever, but we could change that at any time. Let's go over here and campaign to the people that we really need to get, because these people, black, liberals, progressives, whatever they are, Latinos who are liberal, whatever, they're gonna vote for me anyway. So it's the blackening of the progressives and liberal movement, man. She looks at them the same way. What do you think, AJ?
I 100% agree with you. And everything that, when you talk about the constituencies, everything that she does, like you said, she took prison lobbyist money in 2015, expects the black vote, but every other, like environmentalist, LGBT community, every other demographic, she voted for a border fence. And the same prison lobbyists also, they build the detention centers for immigrants. Yep. And so the thing is, every demographic that she kind of controls in a way or influence, she has a lot of influence within. This is every demographic, not just black community, every demographic. The top politicians are beholden to Hillary. So the top politicians who, let's say Latino politicians or black or environmentalists, people who are interested in protecting against climate change, at the end of the day, the top ones, the most powerful ones, will always side with Hillary Clinton. And she knows that. So like you said, she can go ahead and say, I'll do what I want to do. I'll go ahead. And the interesting thing is, they cheated Bernie. So, I mean, that whole thing is, if it was fair, if you had, because as Bernie went throughout the primary, his name recognition increased. When his name recognition increased, you had black voters, Latino voters. Everybody was like, whoa, I'm starting to know who this guy is. He's so much better than Hillary. what Debbie Wasserman Schultz did was she said, I'm going to ensure that nobody knows who Bernie is and make no debates, hardly any debates in the beginning. So if it was fair that they got enough debates to where his name recognition could be, we have a different ballgame. And plus, they cheated Bernie Sanders. If you had an impartial DNC, like it was an impartial RNC, where the Republican Party was pretty much impartial. They're like, you know what? You battle it out. Unfortunately for them, Trump won. So they're like, oh,
we should cheat like the Democrats next time. We gotta get more dirty. We gotta be more underhanded. Yeah, I get your point, man. And I don't know, man. I'm looking at it like maybe at the end of the day, Hillary just wants to be Republican, and I think people are taking this too easy. They're being too complacent. Like, not complacent, they're being too pliable. Like, they're willing to go along with this, and they don't realize this has just destroyed our politics in our country. Like, we're supposed to have people with left ideas and people with right ideas, like battle it out, sort of. Like, have different, like, okay, same-sex marriage, no. And people go, yes. And we had that conversation, and we decide as a country, what do we want to do about it, and how can we make this so people can agree and we can go on and respect each other. But what's happening right now is the total opposite, because Hillary is doing away with that whole side of, like, the whole liberal side. Like, we've just been disenfranchised.
Yep. No, we did. Oh, totally. We've been disenfranchised, but you know what? It's almost we asked for it in a way. In a way, it's like we went ahead and
break that down, man. Dive in, unpack that part, man.
We knew it, but you know what happened, Tim? And I firmly believe this. That 2005 audio. If it wasn't for that 2005 audio, Trump would be up now. And we don't want to hear. Americans are very interesting. Of all demographics, we're very interesting people. If a politician is going to hurt us, as long as they're very nice and polished, we can kind of deal with it. And if they have power, so Clinton wields power. I mean, she's married to Bill. That's where her power emanates. Her power emanates from Bill Clinton.
Absolutely.
But with Trump, he's this ogre, and he says he wants to grab women by the you-know-what.
Right.
So everything that Hillary will do bad to us, we'll deal with, because we don't want somebody who speaks like that. We can't have anyone who speaks badly, who doesn't present themselves in a polished way, a presidential way. And it's interesting. Every single debate, she must be amazing, because the New York Times, the Washington Post, Vox, all the public relations firms, every single effing debate between Bernie and Trump, she won. She didn't lose any.
Nothing.
She didn't lose any debates. And it's
looked like she took the night off last night. The last debate, I didn't even know she was there. Like, she totally, like, wasn't in that at all. Like, and still, she looked presidential. Like I said, she could have came out, HA, and didn't have the gift of speech. They'd have been like, look how eloquent she was. They'd be like, she didn't talk. Well, yeah, but it was eloquent. It was so crafty. Did you see the eyelids, the blinking, the way that she blinked? Oh, we could write love poems about it. Beautiful prose about how, the way she tilted her head.
It's unbelievable. You know what? This is it's only going to help. It's only going to help you and me, Tim, because
how's it going to help us, HJ? They're shutting us out. We got people gunning for us.
I'm not talking about.
I see them trolling, HJ. They're still trolling.
Oh, they're trolling. But the thing is, like, in terms of the country's gonna be hurt. In terms of your channel, my channel, your work, my work, people need a source like Tim Black. They need, somebody like, both of us to.
Yeah, they need H.A. Goodman, man. They need you, man. You powerhouse. H.A. Goodman, the powerhouse. Delivering daily, my man.
Thank you. But they need our brand or who we are. There's not many people like us, Tim. And the thing is, it's like there's Vox, New York Times, Washington Post, Daily Beast. They all work for her. And so the thing is.
But you know what? No, H.A., they don't work for her. Like, this is the thing. Oh, man, you just sparked me, man. They're not even, people that are carrying water for Hillary aren't even getting paid to do it. Like, the Clintons are so powerful people are punked into supporting it.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't offer him anything. It's like
they get dinners though. Tim, they get dinners at Podesta's house.
Good point, but you feel me? Like it's not like if you do this, you get a promotion. You do like usually a bribe is we give you something, you give us something. In this case, it's no one says anything, and they already know. They assume if they say anything bad, they'll be punished. So it's the best pimp. This is pimping 101 right here. Trick better have my article. Punk better have my YouTube video. Ho better have my, you better slant this, you better not take them votes. You better do what I say, woman. Oh, don't you sass me, woman. Get out there, you man, you better get out, and that's an organization, CNN, you better get out there and get my money, get my votes, and they're doing it, AJ. And then like I just had an interview, and I'm gonna bring this up, man. Bruce Carter was explaining to me why he supports Trump. And look, guys, I bring people on my platform. I want to hear what the man has to say. I had him on my platform when he was supporting Bernie, and he had a video. He seemed passionate. He was in it. He was behind him. He was doing great things. People loved Bruce Carter at the time. Black men for Bernie, if people don't know. And then after Bernie threw in, after he threw in under Hillary, Bruce started supporting Trump. It was like a month later, I get all these people on YouTube and Facebook saying, Tim, Bruce Carter lost his mind. How's a black man going to support Trump? And then he went on my video and he explained why he supports Trump. So I understand it because he says it's a business play. He says it's because he's providing services and he never will support Hillary. So he tells people, vote Jill Stein if you can do it. But if you don't want to do that, vote Trump. Do not vote Hillary. That's his standpoint, and he is voting for Trump. What do you think about that? How does that?
I think that's 100%. I think that this gentleman is 100% right in terms of the kind of protest thing, because if you always fall in line, this is like what people don't understand. We're going to have an effing Republican eventually. People don't get, like, they think that we can have a string forever of Democrats. They say, oh, well, you know what? We can't let the Republicans climate change. Like, we're going to have another Republican eventually. And what she's going to do is she's going to implode completely. She's already imploded the American political system. We had, like, everything is – people are unhappy. We're all sad, everything. I mean, it's going to be the most unhappy, like, election day. People are like, oh, like, we're going to be all unhappy. She's probably going to win. But this gentleman is correct because his thing is, what did Clinton ever do for the people that are voting for her, the constituencies that are voting for her? What did she, and that's the thing, what did she do good in terms of foreign policy? What great thing did she ever do for anyone? I'm talking about to be worthy of being the most powerful person in the world. Because I don't know. That's why I said in one of my last videos, and people will probably, if they don't understand it, they'll say it's sexist. It's not that, let's say, like, if you're married to a former president, and your power is derived from that former president.
Right.
You can't say that you're voting for Hillary Clinton, because people who say, well, I'm not voting for Bill, I'm voting for Hillary. And my question is, okay, name one major achievement. Nobody can name a major achievement. The Clinton name is a powerful name.
The Children's Defense Fund.
So the defense fund, and then she called black youth super predators, and she, and then she.
Stop bringing up truth. We don't need truth. We just need to. That's just the one thing we keep hearing her say. The Children's Defense Fund. I helped 1 million kids get health care, and then I put 3 million poor people in jail, and knocked 1 million single mothers off of welfare, and pushed them into harsh, terrible poverty. But no one follows it up. Not Don Lemon, not Wolf Blitzer, not Joy Reid, Cornball, Chris Hayes, none of them. Rachel Maddow, the hollow Rachel Maddow.
Well, and that's the thing. All of them serve one purpose, and that is to further the center, which is really the right. That center, it comes to the point where you might as well, the protest vote for Trump makes a lot more sense at this juncture, at this moment in time, than just going with the center and going with the flow. I'm voting for Jill Stein. I know you love Jill Stein.
Absolutely,
I love Jill Stein.
Man. Voting for Jill Stein, baby.
Yeah, voting for Jill Stein. But the thing is, like, people who want to protest with Trump, and they say, oh, Trump's racist. Okay, we can go. She furthered the birther myth with the 3 a.m. ad, the whole against Barack Obama.
Garb, the whole thing, yeah.
Yeah, and so the thing is, like, I totally get, you want to vote for Trump to stop Clinton, fine. Also, one thing about people don't understand, Trump completely destroys the Republican Party if he's in office, which is a good thing.
The brand is
Yeah.
toast. The brand is toast. Like, it's done.
Toast. It completely, so you mean it's like you get two birds with one stone, and the thing is, it's a protest vote, and it destroys the Republican Party, and the neoliberals are also destroyed because they're like, oh man, we rigged the system, we did it, we cheated, we did, and we still lost.
Still could be.
Unfortunately, Tim, that might not happen. Unfortunately, we'll have Madam President, and we'll have 4 years. And before I go, I want to leave you with this, okay? Every single scandal, there's going to be like 10 different scandals. I can go on forever about each one. But every scandal that she has, she's going to need the progressives that she basically marginalized and insulted. And she's going to need those conservatives that she kind of tried to lure that are voting for her.
Right.
But the hilarious thing, and I'm already laughing, is that the progressives are going to be like, F you, I'm not helping you at all. The conservatives will be like, psh, we only were with you because we don't like Trump. She's going to have a base of support from a very dwindling base throughout her time. The Republicans are going to hammer her on every single thing. They're already working on it. So in terms of the Republican Party, they're very smart. They're like, we got 4 years of Clinton. We can get 8 years of a Republican because 4 years of Clinton, it's going to be nonstop scandal. And she already disenfranchised the progressives, the left.
Right.
So what does she have? What is she going to have for 4 years? She's going to have only, and all the people, like you said, who were beholden to her, who really didn't get anything, like the New York Times, the Washington Post, once they turn on her, she's toast. Because that's the only thing that she really does have now, the media. Yeah. But when the media turns on her, it's going to be like a feeding frenzy. It'd be like Jaws 4, 5, 6, all at once. And
barracudas, piranhas, and I don't know,
exactly.
Like a horse fell in the sea. Yep. Oh man, this is crazy. H.A. Goodman, man, look, man, thank you always, man, for coming through, man. I know people want to follow you, and we need to get you to that 50K, 150K subscriber count, brother. Tell them, man. Tell them where to go. They need to know.
It's H.A. Goodman on YouTube, and you can go to hagoodman.com. But right now, it's H.A. Goodman on YouTube, and it's growing. Tim, I'm almost at 40.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, my brother.
And can I tell you? And you have played a big role in that. So I thank you, Tim. I thank you.
Man, thank you, man. This is fun, man. Doing this show with you is always fun, man. And we bounce ideas off each other. And look, and the people love it. So it's a win-win. Win. It's a win-win-win. Good for me, good for you, good for them. Hey, good for the country. That's 4 wins.
Tim, you have a wonderful week, and thank you so much.
Hey, man, you take care, brother. Thank you. You have a great week. Guys, that's been H.A. Goodman and Tim Black on No Sellouts. Listen, man, Thursday, I got Preston Pickens running against Nancy Pelosi in Cali. I need you to tune in for that. It's going to be big. It's going to be huge. Be here or be nowhere. Got to be there. We got to get rid of these career batting average 0, lifetime. I mean, at some point, you got to say I'm tired of acting. Like you can't be 90 playing leading guy. You got to eventually say, let me go behind the camera. Nancy Pelosi needs to step aside, and we need to bring in fresh eyes and ears and ear to the ground and not living in a bubble for the last 40 years, not ultra-rich people meeting with other rich people to determine the lives of poor people. Okay? So that's what we have going on in California. We need to put an end to that. So tune in Thursday where my guest will be Preston Pickens as his second time. He's coming back, for the record. And I'm proud to say that through all of the criticism that your man Tim Black gets, this is the channel where more progressives have been on this channel than any other channel on YouTube, independent, right? Or mainstream media. So top that. With all the negativity they give a brother, top it. Let's see you bring in Preston. Why haven't you had Mr. Pickens on your show? Huh? Now, okay, that's enough. No more play for you. I'm not here to boost anybody else. I'm just telling the truth. I had a great time this weekend at the march. Hung out with my friend Lee Camp, my brother. Hung out with my friend Arn Minkani, my brother. All right. Claudia Stauber, my sister. Jackie Lukeman, my sister. We had a great time. I met so many people. So many people. I left my buttons upstairs. I'm going to bring my buttons tomorrow. I got a bunch of buttons. I got a book on rigged elections, electronically rigging election booths that somebody wanted me to get in. Also, shout out to my brother, Tim Canova. Great time meeting Tim Canova and understanding what he's dealing with in his press conference. He talked to me about his press conference, what it was going to be about, and about the election fraud or the variances. All right. Shout out to, I got a lot of shout outs. Shout out to Who's Next. Right? Those guys are working on a documentary, guys and women, women and guys, working together on a documentary on politics, progressivism, and what's going on now in the path forward. We were shooting they're working on a documentary, and I'm going to be in it. Claudia Stauber's in it, and so is Lee Camp, and a host of other people. They're going across the country. All right. So guys, I'm excited about the future. All right. And I know people don't want, it's counterintuitive, right? Like, people are pissed, right? I'm pissed, but I'm excited too. And I'm excited that I'm pissed. Listen why. Because we have a great opportunity. If you're like me, a person who doesn't care about labels, that I can relate. We have something to talk about. I don't care where you come from. If you've been paying attention, if you've been hearing about what's been happening to our politics, we got something to talk about. And if we have something to talk about, that opens the door for communication. And then what happens? Well, we start having a dialogue. And now guess what? Our coalition, our group of people, the people have just gotten stronger and more together. And now we can move forward. It's one. I believe it because I have conservatives contacting me daily who go, I was put off by your progressive title, but you know what? I like what you stand for. And I like that you call it straight. And I don't agree with everything you say, but you don't demonize me. And you don't. And so that's the path forward, guys. And if we use that, if we take this opportunity, we can change politics in this country, fundamentally change it. All right. Thank you all. So many of you guys I met over the weekend. It was fantastic, man. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for standing up for democracy. I will see you tomorrow. I'll be back to business as usual tomorrow. I got a lot of footage. I got an interview with Lee Camp, this killer. I'm going to put that up. I got an interview with Tim Canova. I got that ready to go. I got some stuff I'm going to put up on my channel. So do me a favor. Go to timblacktv.com. I need you to subscribe or here on YouTube, but subscribe on Facebook. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Can I get a little bit of Instagram love, man? Nobody on Instagram. Where you guys at? I need my Instagram people. I gave up on Vine. Not on Vine. Couldn't keep doing 7 seconds. What can I do in 7 seconds? All right. I mean, seriously, what can I do in 7 seconds that I can put out in front of the public? All right. I love you guys. Or was it 15 seconds? I don't even remember. Shout out to Tim Black's Wolfpack, man. Shout out to everybody. No sellouts. I love you guys. I'll see you next time. It's been a pleasure. Just remember, don't you let nobody take your cornbread. Also got to announce I got another interview on Thursday with some great people during the day. I'm going to be live on the radio. I'm doing it. Let them keep hating. I'm ignoring them. And instead of worrying about what people say negatively, I'm going to rebut it, but I'm going to keep it moving. But here's the thing. We're going to just keep outworking them. And to all of you folks who are carrying water for Hillary in the media, I'm ashamed of you, but you should be ashamed of yourselves. The truth is the truth. I hope you're getting paid to sell out, because at the end of the day, you are selling out. But I'm not. No sellouts. I'll see you next time, guys. Peace. Everybody take care. And you know what time it is. No sellouts. How many times can I say no sellouts? Should I start using a script? Maybe I should. All right, guys.
Bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia. Oh, I gotta hit the button. My bad, guys. You know what, man? We're gonna open phone lines. We're gonna open phone lines. We're gonna open phone lines before Friday because I gotta talk to some people. I want people to be able to call up before Friday. So Friday is Freedom Friday where you call up. But one day this week, it's not gonna be Thursday because I'm gonna have in Mr. Pickus, Preston, my friend. I'm open phone lines, if not tomorrow, Wednesday. Okay? So I'm gonna pick which day. So stay tuned for that because I think people got some stuff to say. And I want to hear it. Peace.